Okay, let's do this next question. In this example number 1, which point satisfies the equation x square plus y square equals to 1 and z equals to 3? And what does the equation x square plus y square equals to 1 represent as a surface in R3? Okay, so let us describe these things. We know from our previous knowledge, let's say calculus 1 or the calculus 2, so we know that this x square plus y square equals to 1. What is this thing? It is the equation of a circle. It is equation of a circle. Its center equals to origin 0 0, but here we are in 3D, so you have to write 0 0 0, and its radius is equal to 1, and its radius is equal to 1. Okay, and what is z? Z equals to 3, and we already discussed in this above equation that is z equals to 3. It is a plane which is here at a distance of 3 units from this ground floor, or you can say this is the third floor. So what does these two things represent? So when you consider them together, when we consider these two equations together, that is x square plus y square equals to 1 and z equals to 3. So you have to consider these two equations together. How can you interpret them? So you can say that these two equations represents the equation of a circle in the plane z equals to 3. That's how you can interpret these two equations mean together. Okay, so this is the figure of this thing. Okay, so x square plus y square equals to 1. This is the equation of the circle, and z equals to 3. This is a It represents the equation of a plane which is at a distance of 3 units above the ground floor, and both of these two equations together, they represents a unit circle in the plane z equals to 3. Now if I remove this condition, okay, if in the second part of the problem he is asking us what does the equation x square plus y square represent as a surface in R cube. Okay, so we have x square plus y square equals to 1. So imagine this thing. Okay, imagine this thing. We are here in now we are in the 3D space. We are in the 3D space, and this will represent a circle in the xyz, okay, in the xy plane. Okay, this is our x square plus y square equals to 1. But one more thing you have to consider here, there is no condition on the variable z. Okay, there is no condition on the variable z. It means that z can take any value. For example, z equals to 0, z can be equal to 0, z can be equal to 1, z can be equal to minus 100, z can take any value. So if the z varies from here, so what we are going to get from here, we are going to get infinitely many circles. many circles. So when we put them together, all of these circles together, what we are going to get, we will get an infinite cylinder. So this here we have one circle, here we have circle, this circle. Okay, you can imagine, for example, if you have bangles, if you put your bangles at the top of each other, it will make a cylinder. Similarly, you can imagine like you have like many tires of a car or something. When you put them together at the top of each other, it will make a cylinder. So this equation together this equation alone, it will represent a cylinder. That's how you can interpret, or that's how you can imagine this thing. So this equation alone, it will give you a cylinder. So this is a very interesting questions you need to understand. Okay, so as you can see from this figure, this equation alone, x square plus y square, it gives us a cylinder. Like in this way, it is an infinite cylinder. It is an infinite cylinder. We have another equal. So let's do this example number 3. Describe and sketch the surface in R cube represented by the equation y equals to x. Before I describe this thing in R cube, let's consider this equation in the 2D plane. For example, if we are here in the 2D plane, let's say in the x and in the xy plane, we know that this equation, it is an equation of a line passing through the origin. Okay, this is, what is this thing? This is the equation of a line passing through the origin, and it makes an angle of 45 degree with the positive x-axis. Okay, now you can imagine this thing. Now let's suppose that we are here in the 3D space x, y and z. So in this x, y, z, this y equal to x, it will be a line in this xy plane. Okay, so you can imagine in this way. So this is a line y equals to x in z equals to 0. But remember, there is no condition on the z. There is no condition on the z, so z can take any value. Z can take any value. It means that z can be equal to 1, z can be equal to 2, z can be equal to minus 10. So it means that y equals to x. Okay, it represents an infinite amount of the lines which are put at the top of each other. Okay, so and it will make a plane. So it represents a plane. It will represent a plane in the 3D space. Okay, so in the 2D space, it represents a line. Okay, here in this 2D space, this represents a line, but here in this 3D space, it will represent a plane. It will represent a plane. So this is our plane which is passing through this line y equals to x, which is passing through the line y equals to x. That's how you can interpret this thing. So in this you need your some imaginations to mean what will represent what is represented by these things. So it is a plane, okay, which is vertical plane, and it is passing through the line y equal to x in the plane xy equals to, in this xy plane. Okay, now we have some formulas. For finding the distance between 2 points in the 3D space. Okay, this is similar to what we have discussed in the previous, like how do we find the distance between 2 points in xy plane. This is a little bit a generalization of that thing. We only have included a third term in this thing, that is x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square. So by this formula you can find the distance between 2 points in the xy in the 3D space, in the 3D space. This is an example of this thing. We have the 2 points P2 minus 1 7 to the point Q1 minus 3 5, and you can apply this formula to find the distance between these 2 points. Okay, the next definition, it is of equation of a sphere. Okay, equation of a sphere. This is like the same as we have for example the equation of a circle. So this is similar to this thing. For example, you consider this thing. Okay, we are here in the xy plane, and in the xy plane, suppose that if our circle has the center here, the center is the origin. Okay, this is the center, and the radius equals to r. This can be written in the following way: x square plus y square equals to r square. Now suppose that again we are here in the xy plane, but the center of the circle is not the origin. It is somewhere at some point different. Okay, so suppose that we are here. This is the point. The point is, the coordinate of this point are AB, and the radius is equal to r. So this can be written in the following way: x minus a square plus y minus b whole square equals to r square. So this here, what is the center? The center of the circle is equal to AB, and the radius is equal to r. Now we want to define the equation of a sphere. Now what is a sphere? The sphere is like you can say the football. Okay, the sphere is like a football, and we want to find its equation. Okay, so this is the sphere, and the equation of this, it is given by the following: x minus h. Okay, so this is the equation of a sphere: x minus h square plus y minus k square plus z minus l square, and this is equal to the radius of the sphere, let's say r, and r square. And in particular, when the center is the origin, it can be written in the following way: x square plus y square plus z square equals to r square. So this is the difference between the equation of a circle and the equation of a sphere. So in the equation of a sphere, we have an extra term as z square. Okay, let's do this question. In this example number 6, what he says that show that this equation x square plus y square plus z square plus 4x, okay, this is the equation of a sphere. Find its center and the radius. Find its center and the radius. So what you have to do, you have to rearrange this thing, and then you need to complete the squares. Okay, for example, here you need to use the following technique, which is called the completing the squares. Completing the squares. How do you complete the square? For example, from this equation, you can only consider the first you can consider the x terms. Okay, here we have x square plus y square plus z square plus 4x minus 6y plus 2z plus 6 equal to 0. Okay, so let's only consider the equations which involves the term which involves the variable x. You can write them in the following way. For example, we have here x square plus 4x, x square plus 4x. So how do we complete the square? How do we complete the square? Remember, this is what we want to achieve: a plus b whole square. This is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. So what you need to do, you have to add the half of the number which is written with x to okay, what you need to do, you have to add and subtract. You need to add and subtract half. You need to add and subtract the half of the number written with x. The number which is written with x. Number which is written, or you can say the coefficient of the variable x. And in this case, what is the coefficient of x? The coefficient of x is 4. Okay, the coefficient of x is 4. We divide this thing with 2. Our answer is 2. So we add and subtract half of the number, but here there is another thing, the square first, and also you have to take the square of the half of the number with the x, because look at this term here, we have the b square. So this you can add here 2 square. Since we are adding 2 square, the next thing you have to do is the following. You also have to subtract the same number in order to balance the equation, so this equation, for example, let's write them here. X square plus, here you can write y square minus 6y, and then plus z square plus 2z, and we have this term 6. Okay, so in the first term, x square plus y square, here we have to add the square of half of the square of this 4 term. So here we are adding 2 square, but since we are adding this thing to balance the equation, we also need to subtract the same number from here, and that we can write here 6 minus 4. Now what is minus 6 divided by 2? Minus 6 divided by 2, this is equal to minus 3, and then you take the square of this, minus 3 square, which is equal to 9, or even you can forget this negative sign, just write here 3 square. 3 square is equal to 9, so also you need to subtract 9 from here. And similarly 2 divided by 2, it is 1, so here we add 1 square minus 1 equals to 0. So the first term can be written in the following way: x plus 2 square plus y minus 3 square plus z plus 1 square equals to, and you can bring this to the other side, so this becomes 6 minus 14. 6 minus 14, it is equal to 8. And one more thing, he is asking in the question, we need to find its radius and also its center, but before, you need to write this in the following form. This plus 2 can be written in the following form: x minus 2 and then square. This is already in the required form: y minus 3 square plus z minus 1 whole square, and 8 can be written in the following form: 8 square root of 8 and then 2 square here. So this can be written in the following way. So it means that what is the center? What is the center of this? The center of this is going to be minus 2, minus 3, not minus 3, the plus 3 and minus 1. And what is the radius? The radius is equal to square root of 8. Square root of 8 is the radius of this. But you can do it very quickly if you understand this thing. The main idea was the completing the square. Now in this example number 7, what region it is represented by the following inequalities? Okay, what region it is represented by the following inequalities? This type of the questions we have done, let's say in calculus 2. Let's do this thing, for example, in the xy plane. For example, we are in the xy plane and we are given this thing: x square plus y square. This is less than or equal to 1, greater than or equal to 2. So what does this represent to you? the first one, it will be a circle. Okay, if we consider only this thing, if we consider only this, that is x square plus y square equals to 1. So this is a circle, center is the origin, and the radius equals to 1. Okay, and the other one is the following. You can put a square here, and the second one will give you x square plus y square equals to 2 square. So it will be a circle, and its radius is equal to 2, and both of them together, it will give us the inner part of these two circles, mean this thing. Now here what do we have? Here we have this thing. It represents a sphere. It represents a sphere. And what is the center? The center is equal to the center equals to 0, 0, 0. So if I consider this left side, here the radius will be equal to 1, and for this right side the radius will be equal to 4. So together these of two things represents the inner part of the two spheres. And you can imagine them in the following way.